I have Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, correct?
Yeah, maybe because it's not too many words, like here through here.
All the way to. Okay. So for Ar-Rahman, I put the Alif Lam as a harf and Rahim as ism. And then
yeah.
I don't know if you'd break those two up or if it just counts as one word.
It usually counts as one because what happens to the when we have a word, this is so like ultimately at the day these are just the rules that are the standard rules, and this is just how they've made the rules for doing it. Like you could have rules for wrestling, you could have rules for kung fu, you could have rules for time chess and non-time chess. For the standard out-of rules, the way they operate is that they'll count that word as one, like billahi or bismi, even though it's kind of two words merged together. And so that's just how they decided to do it. Now, if we created our own rules now, we're like, hey, we're doing version 2 of Arabic grammar, we could say like, no, we're going to count them as separate words. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that we understand it. And so usually the nouns in Arabic, they're going to either be defined or undefined. And so the Rahman, or for example, like the Rahman is probably a good one, but so when it could either be Rahman. Okay, so like let's go to here. This one is this is probably a better one right here. Let me just the Sirat here. It's Siratul Ladina. So this one actually has possession in it. It's path of those. So that's how it's known. Or it could be Siratun or Siratan. So it's either going to be Tanween or it's going to have the L. It's either going to be known, and it can be known in like, I think 9 different ways or 6 different ways. We'll cover that later on. But it's either going to be known, which means it doesn't have Tanween, it has either L or it's tied to another word, or it's going to have the L. But the nouns are always going to either be known or unknown. In this particular case, it's known, and that's what this L does here. It just makes it known. It's the most merciful, or however they translated it. All right, so all right, good.
So basically, that's ism for Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, both of them, correct? Okay. Malik, I put I was confused, but I wasn't sure. I was going between fa'al and ism.
It's ism. It's from a verb. It's created from a verb, but almost everything is anyway. But all right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, Yom ism and ad-din. So I put, because alif lam harf with the ism ad-din, like the deen part, but I guess it's just ism.
Yes, and if we go here, also on this, if we use Quran Corpus, this is a very good tool. If we go here, like it'll have everything here too, like noun, noun, noun. This is all the standard. This website uses everything standard. Pretty much any grammar book I've ever seen or you'll come across is going to use standard stuff. And so Malik Yawmiddin, we have everything there, and it has also the noun, noun, noun. All right, so let's go to good job. All right, let's go to Sister Farida. You're on mute. I don't know if do you want to do this, Sister Farida?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Slide.
We're going to do this line.
Yeah. Again, I don't know the meanings and stuff, but I'm using the Quran corpus as a guide.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. So نعبد. So it says you alone. So that would
Okay.
be a pronoun.
Yes,
So
which would
would that be an ism then? A
yes,
part of
very
ism? Okay.
very good.
Na'budu, that is we
Very,
worship. So that's an
yeah,
action. So it would be a verb, which is fail.
very good. Fa'al.
File. Okay.
Yes, fa'al. Yeah.
And wa iyaka. Wa is a conjunction like and.
Yes, which is
That and were what would that come under? Harf?
yes, harf. Very good, very good.
Harf? Okay.
Excellent.
And pronoun. This is iyaka is you alone. So
Yes.
that would be ism.
Yes.
Okay. Nasta'in, that's for we ask for help. So that's like an
Yep.
action. So that would be a verb, which is fail or
Yes.
the difference between, I guess, file or fail. I guess how do I pronounce that?
It's fa'al. Fa'al.
Foul. Okay.
Yeah. That's good. You know, you guys are doing very good because what you're doing is separating the words. That's step one, is separating the words in the category. And Inshra, did you want to say something?
Yes, does the noon part of nasta'in, does that like count like as an ism because it's like saying we?
No, it's basically, we'll cover this in a little bit. Just hold that for a second. We're going to cover that as part of today's thing. So let's pause on that. All right, now let's go to all right, Abdul Hafid. We're gonna make this a little bit tougher. All right, let's go here to. We'll go to Ikhlas. Okay. All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brother Abdul Hafid, if you can go ahead and do this first line, and then Al-Manas, you're going to get the next one next. And if you can do a couple lines if you want, Abdul Hafid, it's up to you.
Sure, thank you. Inshallah. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Kul huwa Allahu ahad. So, kul is a verb. That would be fa'al.
Very good.
Kul, because that's something to do. Huwa is huwa, that would be a ism.
Yes.
Allah is an ism as well. It's a proper ism.
Yeah.
Proper noun. Ahad is also ism.
Is what?
Ism.
Yes. Do you? I don't know if I quoted this, but can you break down what each word means also?
Yes, sure. So kul means to do something, right? Or say something.
Yeah.
Sorry, not do something.
Yes, say.
Kul. Yes. Huwa is like him, right? Huwa is him. Allah is the Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ahad means it's the like he's one. Allah is one. Ahad means just one.
Yeah. Very good. Huwa, here there's actually some difference of opinion in the grammar of Kul Huwa Allahu Ahad, but it could mean here say it, where huwa is it, and it's not a reference to it's just it, like just in say it, and that would be a I don't know, which like a genderless it, just like in English. Say it, like say the word, say it. Allahu Ahad. Say it. What should you say? Allahu Ahad. Allah is one. Ahad is different than Wahid. Ahad you cannot increase in count. Wahid, Ithnain, Thalatha, you can increase in count. So Ahad is a very special word. It's very specific here. Or it could be say He is Allah the one. Say He is Allah the one. Where Huwa would be He. It's it's gender specific. All right, let's go to Al-Manazir. Allahu Samad. Like so.
Allahu is Allah, so its a name would be ism, and
Yeah.
Samad means eternal, right?
Yes.
That's like a name as well, given to Allah. So that's a ism, right?
Yes. You did good, and Abdul Hafid. Zubin, do you feel, you weren't here last week? I don't know if you watched the video, but
So
do you feel?
today is my first day. The last time
Okay.
I forgot to join, so
All right, no problem.
yesterday Omar actually asked me to join, so I just
Okay.
thought I'll join in.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So anyways, what we're doing, we'll sync up afterwards, but
Yeah,
all right,
that's fine.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump. Everybody did good, very good. Way ahead of me when I first started. So mashallah, you guys are doing a good job. I started with like other spat adult. So we're gonna go into now the fi'l madi. So this is what does it say here? So page 20. We're really just we're using the book as like an order of operations and taking the rules, and then we're going to the Quran. So here we have taqsim al-fa'al, dividing the verb, bi'atibar zamanihi, with consideration of its tense, bi'atibar zamanihi, al-fa'al al-madi. So this is the fi'l madi, the past tense. Fi'l, al-fi'lu, which is the verb, al-madi, the past. Amthila. We're going to go to the Quran for these, but we'll just maybe take a Amthila is the examples. Jara al-kalb, the dog is running, or the dog ran, excuse me. Daqati sa, the clock was ticking. Jatil bintu, the girl came. Badatil dajaju, the chicken laid an egg, right? And so we'll go to the al-qaida, the rule. الفعل الماضي هو كل فعل يدل على حصول عمل في زمن الماضي. The past tense is every action that indicates accomplishing something, an action, in the past tense. So past tense verb, it's pretty clear cut, and I want to show kind of how this works. And this is, I think Inshara had asked that question about like, nasta'in, isn't the noon part of, isn't that a separate thing? So in the Arabi, we don't need anything other than the verb to specify an action and who did it. You can become more specific, but basically, well, let's just look at this. So we have this verb. This is, we're only looking at this column right here. Let me see. Maybe if I zoom in better, it'll be better. Yeah. All right. So we're only looking here. The verb here is kataba. I just add the two at the end, and it becomes katabtu. It means I wrote. But the verb is kataba. And so all we have to do for the past tense verbs in Arabic, in all situations, is we just have to change the ending or look at the ending. We don't have to change it. We could even leave it. But we just look at the ending, and then that'll tell us who did it. The base verb is here where it says always hidden. Oh, this is a mistake. I gotta find something else in here. This should say katabat. All right, well, I'll find another one, but don't worry about it. So let me just do that real quick. Give me a second. Yeah, I think this is probably a decent one. Okay, here. I want to get something into English too. All right, here we go. This is all right. I found a good one. All right. Yeah, we'll use this one. This is a decent one. So here it says huwa dhahaba. We don't need this huwa. Dhahaba is sufficient. Dhahaba, it doesn't have the translation, and there's a deficiency in this one too. Anyways, dhahaba means he went. Give me a second. Let me find another one. That's not a. I want to get something that has like it's very clear too, but. Well, let's just go to the original one again, and then we'll take it from there. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, here's actually. Present tense. All right. Well, I did have another one thing here. I have this here, but let's just. I felt like this was a little bit too intense. Just give me one more moment. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't notice that I had that mistake in there, and I don't want to give you bad information. Maybe I should spread it out. All right, I think we'll use this. So I should have double checked it first. But here we go. All right. So this is essentially the same thing, but here this is the verb, which is kataba. Okay, and that's how they write it, and that's basically he wrote. And then when I add this to at the end, it makes it I wrote. We're gonna switch back to the other one. It's okay that we're missing that piece of information because this one has a better, I think, graphic in my opinion. All right. So here, it's kataba, which means he wrote, and then when I add to it, it becomes I wrote, katabtu. And then here it becomes katabna, which means we wrote. These first two, these are basically first person, I and we. I, we. Don't worry about this column for now. All that we'll cover those later, but right now all we care about is the verb. We don't even need to specify anything. We just have in one word, we have both of it together. The action, which is kataba, and then who did it. Katabtu is I did it, or katabna, which is we did it. In this particular case, it's I wrote or we wrote. That's why I like this one. I felt like the colors and everything were good. And then after that, there's going to be a bunch of second person, which is you. In Arabic, there's more yous than in English. In English, we only have one you. Whether it's one person, two person, male, female, three person or more, three males, three females. In English, it's all you. In Arabic, there's one for each one of those 6 things, and we're going to cover them right now. So katabta is you wrote masculine. That's what this M right here means. So katabta is you wrote masculine. You would say katabta, you wrote, katabta hada taqrir. You wrote this report. And then from that katabta, just from that word alone, I know if somebody overheard us, they would know that when I spoke, I was speaking to a male, or at least that's how the language was. You know, that's what the words meant. When we change it again, so again, it's ketaba, and then what happened here in all these examples, they put a sukoon on the ba, and then they just added these orange letters. Katabti is for a female. And you would see, for example, in Surah Al-Anbiya, for example, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, because nar, fire, is feminine in Arabic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, he says, kuni bardan. Qala ya naru kuni. So the ni over there, that's a different verb tense, but also, let's see, وَأَشْرَقَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا from Surah Al-Zumar. وَأَشْرَقَتِ the ta at the end, that was also third person. But anyways, this katabti, it tells me that I'm speaking to a female. So if any one of you, if Sister Farida, for example, said to Inshira, she would say, katabti al-wadifa. You wrote the homework, or you wrote out the homework. And so you'd say katabti. Me just overhearing it without knowing anything else, just from the word katabti, I would know she's speaking to a female in past tense. And then katabtuma, this is you both wrote. This is for male and female. And the dual tense, this is called dual, this is unique to Arabic. The dual tense, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا. The kuma, that it's similar to the stuma, and that has to do with dual. And that basically means you both wrote. I don't have to use the dual. I could go to straight plural. But if I, in Arabic, if they use the dual, let's just be aware that it's there, that this dual exists, and there's examples in the Quran of it. All of the things that we mentioned here are in the Quran. The grammar of these things. And so the katabtuma, it means two people wrote it. Yeah, go ahead, Inshara. You don't have to raise your hand. You just say stuff. It's cool. I think you're on mute. There you go.
So this is like they would put the ma when he specifically or anybody specifically referring to both males and females, like in the room, right?
Yeah. No, it would be two of some kind, but it's specifically doing two. You both. This would be tuma is you both. It could be two males. It could be a male and a female. It could be two females.
Oh, so it's two, not like you know how in Spanish they'll say ellos, and that could be for girls and boys. If there's just one boy in the room, it's still
no. Yeah.
So it's just two. Okay.
Yeah, it's you both. And so in the Quran, for example, Surah Rahman, in that case, the you both, it's not referring to two individuals. It's referring to you two, Allahu Alam, of the jinn and the ins, of the jinn and people. And so in that case, the you both is referring to two different, populations or species, whatever you want to call it, creations. That's probably the most accurate. And then, but it could be in a different situation. It could be you both, like you're referring to two children. Katabtum al-wadifa, and then I'm speaking to my son and daughter, for example. The next thing here we have katabtum, which is you wrote, plural for males. So all of these are you. If you look, everything we've done here so far has been you. For these second persons, it's you wrote, you wrote, you wrote, you wrote. It ends right here, but these different you wrotes, they're all in English you wrote, but in Arabic it's more specific. Katabtum is you plural male. That's what M plural here right here means. I'll find a better one, or maybe I'll just even write one and send it to you guys. But I wanted it to be like only the past tense, and then kind of with this color code, and then I wanted this male and plural to be underneath it, but whatever. So katabtum is you wrote. So this can be, when I say male plural is, this is a number three, that I'm talking to three, for example, three persons, and one of them has to be male. Just one of them has to be male. It could be one male and two females. It could be two males and one female. It could be three males. As long as one of them is a male, then in Arabic, katabtum, it can refer to three or more in that sense. So I could say katabtum to all of you, even though there's females within the audience here, within the class. And then, but if I say katabtunna, this is exclusively for females. So for example, like in Swift use of, that's past tense. I can't think of an example. That was third person, but anyways, so katabtunna is three or more females. If it was two females or two of anything, then you could say katabtuma, excuse me. And if it's three, then it'd be katabtunna. All of these things are present in the Quran, these different forms. In common Arabic, most people, they don't use katabtunna, and like even in the news and stuff like that, or the tuma. They'll just use tum for everything. They'll take these three and then just, if you go to like Al Jazeera, the news, it's just going to use tum for the plurals. But in the Quran, you'll see all of these things. The Quran is very specific. And so, huwa is kataba, which would be just a base here with the, without the sukun. So it would have been like something like this, dhahaba, or kataba, but here it would be just, there would have been a fatha there. And the prop I used really failed me badly, but. And then, what happened here? Okay, yeah. And then, so they put always hidden here because what they mean is there's nothing at the end. That's the default is kataba. And that's how you'll see it in all the, in the dictionaries, in the Arabic dictionaries, it's always going to be, the base is going to be kataba. You're just going to look up a verb and it's just going to give you kataba. And then you'll be able to derive all these other endings depending on how you're going to use it in a particular sentence. And here it says always hidden, which was a mistake. It should be katabat. So I think in this example here, you'll see, here we go. This is what it's supposed to be. So it's dahabat. So for a man, it's dahaba or kataba. For a female, it's dahabat. And I'll send you these things. I'll find a better one. I'll probably find something online. But after that, we're going to third person, which is they. And as you'll see already here, in English, it's all they. Let me change the color here. Let's do purple. It's all they wrote. They wrote. In Arabic, it's different. It's different possibilities. It's kataba. We just have an alif here. And that would be they wrote for dual, male or female dual. And that what that means is, oh, snap. Hold on. Sorry about that. I hit the cancel button. All right, so this this dual here is they wrote. It could be male or female, two females, two males, doesn't matter. Katabu is they wrote, and then we're adding these letters right here, the waw and alif, and that's just pronounced as u, katabu. And then the katabu, that's they wrote, and it's male plural, but it just means it's three or more numerically, three or more, and 3 plus, and one of them has to be male for it to be grammatically correct. And then katabna is this katabna is this is basically female, three or more females. And so, for example, like in Surah Yusuf, قُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرًا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. They said, قُلْنَا, it's just qaf, nu, lam, nun. They said, and it's referring to the females, that the wife of Aziz had invited over to her house. So, so this is pretty much it. This is the morphology of the verb, and similar. What you had asked in earlier was nasain. Nasain and the present tense also the same thing. It's the same thing in terms conceptually. You have a verb, and then you can play with the letters within that word, within that single verb, that fan, and then you will know who the subject is. We're not covering objects right now. This is just subject. So I came up with kind of a homework assignment, and this will kind of get it for you, inshallah. But basically, this is what it was going to be. We can do some of this together, and I'll find you a better referencing. I don't know why I didn't catch that. But the homework this week would be due next week is i'rab al-af'al al-atiya. Conjugate the following verbs. Kataba, wrote. Dhahaba, went. Kharaja, left. Dakhala, entered. Fa'ala, did. And so that example here, I'll find you a better example, and I'll send you this on the chat. Excuse me. This example here of kataba, it's already there, so you can just copy this. But this thing that we're, you're just going to change the endings. And so what's going to happen here with kataba, it's going to be kataba, and you can put the tashkil in. Please put in the tashkil. I don't have the tashkil here. But for the kataba, you put the kaf, fatha, 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 kataba, and then that will mean he wrote. Katabtu, I wrote. Katabna, we wrote. Katabta, you wrote male. Katabti, you wrote female. Katabtuma, you wrote dual, two. You both wrote. Kataba, he wrote. Katabat, she wrote. Katabtuma, you both wrote. Katabtum, you wrote, plural, male, females. Katabtunna, you females, plural, wrote, three or more. And then kataba, they both wrote. And then, oh yeah, there was another dual one. That page had another mistake in there. It's kataba or katabata. So they both wrote males, they both wrote females. And then katabu, they wrote plural males. Katabna, they wrote females. And that's, I said it verbally, but it's mostly in this sheet, but this sheet has some mistakes. I just realized that. This thing, they wrote kataba. It can also be katabata, and that's also used in the Quran. You'd have that with the ta. There should be a ta right here. Right there, sorry about that. So I'll find a better one than this, but what I just from, whatever you want to do, you can do. But what I found is when I'm writing these out, the best thing to do is write it out in different orders. So you can write it out, like, for example, maybe today after this lesson or tomorrow, you can do kataba and do the different conjugations of it, looking. And then maybe one time you can do it from top to bottom, like katabtu, katabna, and in that order, and then go in the reverse direction. And then do that every day. So like maybe today do one verb, tomorrow do one, the day after that do one, and do it. And if you keep writing it out and you write it upwards, downwards, so for example, like if I was writing it, I could, like, the first time I would write it katabtu, katabna, and that'd go in this top to bottom order. And then later on when I would write it, I would start with katabna and just go in the reverse order. That kind of like change it out a little bit. And then the ideal situation is you're just doing it kind of randomly. If you do those things, it'll get into your brain. And if you use your hands while you're doing it and with the repetition, it'll stick in your brain. This is, I had my kids do the same exercise. And so, or at least my son, and then he probably forgot now. But if he goes back into it, just that it'll build into muscle memory and get in your brain. But before, we have to get this down, because if this isn't solid with us, and we can spend a couple weeks, it's fine. If we don't have this down, then what will happen is the next lesson, it's going to go to present tense, and then everything is going to collapse because it's going to merge together. Everything's going to seem very similar, and we're going to get them crossed. And I've already seen this happen, and it's happened to me. So we really want to get this thing solid down, like reflex, like 3 times 6 is, 18. 9 times 9 is 81. We want it to be reflex, like immediate, instant. And so just repeat it. The first time I might take some time, and then after that, it should be quicker and quicker. And we can spend whatever amount of time we need to on this, but we want this to be reflex. Kataba, katabtum, katabti, katabna, all of it has to be reflex. And it's just a memorization drill. The complexity is not there. Like, what are we talking about there? I mean, it's not more complex than like, surgery or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just root force or road memorization, road memorization. And so that's what we want to do here. Do you guys have any questions? I'll find you a better link. Does everybody understand all that has happened here in terms of
Yeah. So do we have to send all this in this table format, or is it like for us?
I was thinking, for example, so I have an Arabic keyboard too, but my Microsoft Windows isn't set up for it. So, but anyways, for example, I would do this. I would do it by hand first of all, so it's better for it's going to be better for your memorization. That would be like keta. And then, I would also put all the tashkil in there. And then I would do, for example, kitabtu. And then here, the most important tashkil here is when we have that sukun right there, kitab. Let me zoom this in so it's easier. So it'd be kitabtu. I can't move that much. So it'd be kataba, he wrote katabtu, and then I would just write them all out. And then I would do the same thing in reverse order. So then I would do like kitab na. Here the important thing is that the sukun. You can write out all the tashkil. Like, there's no problem with that. Kitab, kitaba, kitabtu, kitabna, and then on the next line, for example, without looking, I would want to do like kitabna. Kitab, I guess kitabtu popped up in there again, and then kitaba. The thing about it is, like, on this thing, I'm changing the order just because it helps me memorize it more. Otherwise, what will happen is it just gets memorized and then the meaning doesn't get tied to it as much. And so what you're doing is, like, it'll help, but once you change up the order, and then also if you do it randomly, it's just like learning multiplication tables. If you wanna learn them, you can just memorize them up, down, and then down, up, and then also randomize it. Same thing with increasing vocabulary and things like that. Spelling tests and all that. It's the same thing. You go in one order, and then you can go the opposite order, and then you can randomize it. However you want to do it. This is just my recommendation to get it down. Ultimately, these 5 words, we want to, by next week, have it somewhat down, and ideally within 2. And if we have to go 3 weeks, it's fine. But we cannot go to the next chapter until this is down, because all the chapters are built upon each other, and if the first floor isn't strong and the second floor is weak, then when we build the third floor, everything's going to collapse and everything's going to hit the ground, and it's just going to become a big blur. So we want to get this down solid. The concepts of themselves here are not that difficult. It's just about getting into memory.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? I'll send this. I was going to send literally this, but this this example is no good. I'll either write one. I'll probably end up just writing one if I can't find one. It's ridiculous. So they should have something like this tomorrow.
I have a question.
Yes.
So for the other verbs, let's say entered or left or any other words out there, do we do it with the same end with two? Let's say zahabta or like kharajta, dakhalata, does every word have a different ending?
No, it's the same rules for all of them.
So you add everything with the ta?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, okay. I think I found one actually. Yeah, I think I used this for my son in the past. Yeah, this was better because it had everything. It doesn't have the translation, but I'll send this. Sorry about the Zoom. It's kind of messed up here. But if we hear look, we look, it at least has the pronoun, like the meanings of what those things are. So we have like kharaja, dhahaba, sami'a, karuma. But all of them, you'll see, you know, to Sister Fadila's point, all of them, the endings are the same. Doesn't matter which verb it is, they're all going to be the same. There are some things, we'll cover them later. They're verbs with the ahruf alla, where the rules are slightly different, but they're very similar to this. Very, very similar. And so even if you don't have to memorize it, you just kind of figure it out, like it'll sound right or wrong. So here, see, it's sami'tuma, karumtuma, kharajtuma, dhahabtuma. They're all the same. Kharajtunna, dhahabtunna, sami'tunna, karumtunna. They're all tunna, tunna, tunna. That's all we have to do. And that's what has to be memorized within the next week or two. We want to get it down. Just write it over and over again, and you'll get it. And I gave some 5 verbs. I'll send you this one. This one's good. So now I don't have to write one up. But look here. If we look here, this one has the things that I was missing. So see here it says, oh, they didn't do it here either. Oh yeah, they did. Wait. Yeah. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. So here we have kharaja, we have kharajata. That's what I was looking for, the little tat right there. For the third person dual, there's a tat in there for the females. And then also this has the kharajat, has the tat right there. So this table is complete and proper. We're gonna give these guys 5-star review. If they had the translation there, that would have been better. So they'll get a 4.5 stars. 4-star. All right. So I'll send this, and then you get cracking on it. You can message anytime. I'm happy to help. You'll probably figure it out. It's not that hard. It's just rote memorization at this point. Just keep drilling it over and over again, and you'll be good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
So, are you able
Oh.
to always provide the recording?
Yeah, I'll send it. And you know what I'll start doing is in this guy right here in our Arabic group. So this is the Arabic grammar shot. What I'm going to start doing is that when we click in here and then it has overview, if you click on the thing in WhatsApp.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so here we go. So here I have like some information here. Sorry, it's small, but basically it has some information. I'll just start putting them in here so that it's like, that way you have to scroll up and down. It'll just be here. I'll put the recordings there with the date. I was thinking about putting that, I don't know what the character limit is on it, but if it allows me to be able to put the homework in there. All right, assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Great.
Alaikum salam. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Samir bhai, so I just wanted to.
Yeah.
So regarding the previous class, right? Do you have? So you said you'll put the recording up, right? So I just wanted to.
I'll send it. Yeah, just go through the recording. You'll be good, and I'll send you the homework too.
Okay.
That's the two I'll do.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, great, Zubin.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I'll go, everybody.
Yeah, fine.
Like,